Have you ever watched a chick break through its shell? My name is Dr. Bill Payne. I am the pastor of the First Methodist Church in Live Oak, Florida. It's an exhausting process. The chick makes that little hole in the shell, and then it has this thing called an egg tooth, and it rotates around in its shell, and it breaks out a little bit at a time, and it can take up to 24 hours from the first peck through the shell till the time that the chick is out of that shell. And you know that that's an exhausting process. Well, seeing that process and knowing how exhausting it is, many well-meaning people want to help the chick break out. So when it begins to break out, they may get some tweezers and pull back the egg and help the chick come out quicker. The problem with that is obvious. God designed the process to strengthen the chick. The chick needs to build the muscles that happen from breaking out. Also, during that process, it creates a better circulation system and it uses up the last of the nutrition from the yolk sac. Everything about that system, that process of escaping from the shell, is necessary for the chick's survival and for its future thriving. Well, I think there's a spiritual lesson in that for us. And that lesson is that there are times in our lives when we face difficulties, when we face hardship, when we face depression, and it may feel like we just want to get through it as quickly as we can, and we want to escape from it. However, it may be that God is allowing those situations to come into our lives because He's wanting to use them to do something for us. Sometimes the dark night of the soul is the time when God is most real to us. And it is a critical time of our own spiritual development and our own ability to depend upon God. This is what Paul says in 2 Corinthians 12. He says, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Well, that's counterintuitive. Power and weakness are oxymoron. They don't go together. How is God's power made perfect or made complete? The word is complete in weakness. Well, in my weakness, I'm no longer depending upon myself or upon my own abilities or my own strength or my own wisdom or intelligence. But I have to then release myself and allow God to do something for me that I can't do for myself. All of us have those times in our lives when we realize that we can't do anything to fix our current situation. And when we get to that point, we have to throw our hands up in the air and say, God, I've done everything I can. Now, Lord, I turn it over to you. I can't make myself fix this problem. And that's when the work of God is most powerful in our lives. That's when God releases himself in our lives in ways that we've never imagined before. And so, from an eternal perspective, I can look back on that sorrow and that suffering, that thorn in the flesh that Paul had, and I say that God gave it to him because Paul's spirituality needed it. Paul says, I had all these surpassing dreams and visions and revelations, and I was doing miracles. I was preaching, and I was getting haughty and arrogant, and I was becoming self contained. but that thorn in the flesh pulled him right back to reality. Even though Paul was a tool of God, he needed to learn how to walk with God, how to yield himself to God, and not how to depend upon his own self or his own abilities. So, this is the point. You may be like that chick. You may feel like there is a barrier in your life that is suffocating you. You may feel like you poked a hole in it, but it's taking all of your energy and you can't get out of the shell that you were in. You can't dig yourself out of the hole that you find yourself in, and you want to despair. Just know this: the process of yielding yourself to God and allowing God to do something in your life that you can't do for yourself, trusting God to help you work through that process, and God will, is the way by which God grows you into his image, the way by which God makes you a better person and fortifies you with character and perseverance and a divine personality. Don't run away from your troubles. Embrace them and ask God to help you to mature yourself spiritually by means of working through those problems. And he never leaves you. He never forsakes you. Even though he may not fix the problem completely, he's right there with you. And when you give it to him, you will be amazed how God can take a problem that's so overwhelming and turn it into a blessing for you and for others. God bless you. And I pray that you'll just have a wonderful day.